Alright lads, welcome back to another video. As you can tell from the title and thumbnail, we're going to be talking a lot about editing. And I'm sorry in advance, I'm sorry for the gameplay in the background. I'm not quite cracked out on my edits as usual because I'm literally on like an 8 sensitivity 400 DPI. I've said it in a couple of videos where I'm playing a bit rusty. I'm still just getting used to such a low sensitivity. My hand just goes flying over the desk. But anyway, you're here for some edit tips. I'm going to give you some edit tips. These are new tips. These are my formulas for improving back when I was semi-pro. But you know, it's been a long time since I've been semi-pro, but we're going to try to get back up to that standard. So, you know, if you want to come with me on the journey, you might as well hit that sub button. We're going to be giving out all the new information I find. And what works for me, basically. And what works for other people, of course. Not everything works for everybody. Some people are visual learners. Some people are audio learners. Some people learn from mistakes. So we're going to do it all in different types of ways. So, you know, be sure to hit that sub button because we're going to be doing all sorts of videos, as well as best moments and a bit of fun. But getting on into it, it's all about proper practice. So proper practice is basically, it's not just like, I'm going to practice my edits today. You got to be conscious about what part of editing you're practicing. There's a lot of different fundamentals to editing, and I can break down a few off the top of my head. Like, you've got crosshair placement. You have speed, so like, you know, you get your crosshair in the right spot, but then how fast and accurately you can move that without going too far out of shape, just staying nice and small but super fast. Obviously the angle you're standing at to the wall, like you've got to experiment with hundreds of different angles, like, you know, right hand peak, left hand peaks, all different type of angle type edits. Like, it's hard to explain them, but just standing alone in a different spot could be the definition of you messing up an edit or actually succeeding it, just depending on where you're standing. Most people don't really think about that. Also, then you've got your click timing, so, you know, just perfectly timing your clicks, especially with me in triple edit binds with scroll wheel reset and double edit binds, so it's like triple edit binds. And then on top of that, you got ping, you know, the thing everybody hates talking about. So even at that, when you're practicing in creative, you're going to be slightly off game when you're in game, unless you're just one of these people zero ping every time 24/7, no matter where you are. Then you're just extremely lucky. But another tip, right? So this is just on a separate note. When you're practicing, you got to practice consistently, as well as practicing individual, those little traits I just mentioned, like crosshair placement, speed, all that stuff. You've got to practice that consistently on a daily basis. Now, I'm not saying spend an hour, 2 hours a day editing. I'm saying if you could spend 10 minutes every day, it's better than 20 minutes every second day. It's all about consistency and playing as often as possible. Even a 5-minute edit course just to warm up every day will do wonders. Like, you see what it's doing for me here. This is me warming up after not playing in 6 months, and I still have it kind of. This is my COD sensitivity, that's why it's so low. I converted it over using AimLab so I can still have my same like precision like aim, but my editing is slack, and I did hire it up since then, but that's not the topic of this video. Obviously, if you do, like, see with building, if you have a higher sensitivity, it's obvious you're going to build better. With aiming, if you have a low sensitivity, it's obviously means you're going to aim better. But with editing, there's a middle ground. With editing, you can edit faster on a low sensitivity, or you can edit faster on a high sensitivity. Like, it's the difference between smooth and quick and fast. You know, you can move very little movements at a slow pace, but still be editing as fast as someone who's doing very large movements at a fast pace. And obviously, the jack of all trades, the better out of two of them is someone who can move their crosshair fast while only doing small gaps. That's the best of the best right there. You're talking your top tier competitors. You're talking Mr. Savage being able to edit so fast but having to move his crosshairs so little. That's some hard shit to do. On another note, again, these are just, I don't script my videos, by the way. I just give out tips and knowledge off the top of the dome. I write a few pointers down, but I don't like scripting. I feel as if it just messes up the whole flow. And plus, I'm trying to make a kind of banging community over here, so we don't want to be listening to scripted videos. Obviously, practice specific edits when you need to. The same way when you go to building, nowadays anyway, the majority of players don't go and practice builds. They don't go in there to just free build. Free building is good, but majority of people will just go in and be like, okay, I need to practice tunneling. Let's practice tunneling. I need to practice this retake. Let's practice retake. I gotta practice side jumps. And you go and do everything individually. But a lot of people don't do that with editing. They just go hit an edit course, blast through it like what I'm doing in the background. But that does actually get your speed up, and I'll go into in depth why I'm doing this, and you'll understand in a minute. But basically, you know, practice your wall edits. Go through 100 walls. Practice specifically double edits with the ramp flipping, like the Mongrel Classic kind of thing. Practice that 100 times if you got it. Whatever you got to do to get it down. Even just 10 times every day for a week might just make such a big difference. Just go through 10 Mongrel Classics every day. It's not a lot. Even go through 5 every day. Multiply that by 7. You know, 5 sevens is 40 if I'm not mistaken. Could be 35. Nah. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Okay, 35 Mongrel Classics, 40 Mongrel Classics. Doesn't make a difference. That's a lot of practice. Small amounts, but over a large amount of time is the formula right there. And my practice formula, this is what I was talking about earlier. This is how I'm trying to get my edits back to the way they used to be. This is what I actually used to do back in the day. But basically, you can, well, not in this gameplay, but I do have other gameplay, and you'll notice when I'm wearing my jumper, that's usually when I'm practicing, like in my creative gameplays and stuff, when I put them up, and I have like talkover videos. You'll notice in my hand cam I'm wearing like a long sleeve jumper. The reason why I do that is because it's probably late night, and because I'm a low sensitivity, your arm can get fatigued a lot more. So when I'm practicing, I practice with a jumper on, because the fabric of my jumper rubbing against the fabric of the mouse mat creates friction. So it's actually harder to move my mouse. But what that does is, it's like dragging around more weight when you're aiming and stuff like that, and you have to pull your arm a lot harder. But what that does is actually fatigues my arm quicker. But I do that because then, when I am not wearing a jumper, my mouse feels so agile and light, and even I'm on a low sensitivity, I feel so much more agile than I usually would. It's kind of just like one of these things that there's not a lot of science to it, but it just works, you know. You get so used to carrying around like a heavy bag on your back for like a week straight. When you take that shit off, if your back feels so much better and it feels so much lighter. That's what I do. As well as it improves my stamina in my wrist, because it's so used to carrying around heavy loads. So when that heavy load disappears, it's got light load, and it can basically go faster for longer. It's like a truck carrying a trailer. It's gonna go slower, but then when the truck releases that trailer, it can go some serious speeds, believe it or not. That's literally the perfect comparison. But that's a big part of my practice formula, is wearing heavy jumpers at late night. But also, if you can practice your edits, like I mean wrist torture edits before sleep, the last thing your hand touches, other than a toothbrush and maybe a bottle of water, is your mouse, and you practice between 10 and 30 minutes of, I mean, late night wrist torture speed edits to the point that your wrist is sore. That is a good thing. Okay, not sore to the point that it's bone or it's joint, but I mean muscular fatigue where you kind of get cramps. That is okay. You want to stop when you're on the verge of getting cramps. When you feel a cramp coming, that's when you've done enough. Because you don't want to injure yourself. You just want to get it to that fail point, same way you would in the gym. You know when you've overdone it in the gym, but also you know when you've just hit the muscle nice and it's just out of shape. You know, it's tensed, all that kind of good stuff. You want to get that from mouse when you're practicing. And basically, what that will do is start a process called protein synthesis, which is the breaking down of protein to rebuild muscles. And that basically means you've started the process of making muscle memory. It's the same thing as doing it in the gym, is actually growing a muscle. But we're just talking about, we're growing the movement of a certain muscle. Believe it or not, it's the same thing. I actually have done my research on this, not with gaming, but with other sports. You know, like basketball, after a certain point, if you take 100 shots in the one basket, you're going to improve. It's literally just logic. It's simplicity. It's just adaptations, basically. And doing that late night, because your hand doesn't touch anything and it's cramped up, overnight it will repair. And then what you do, if you can, if possible, you wake up first thing in the morning before brushing teeth. Maybe you get something to drink or a coffee or something, and then you turn on the PC, go into Fortnite, do slow, precise edits and accurate edits. Like, I mean, slow to the point that you can just, like, I mean, line up 100 walls, no double edits, just a wall, and go through it, and just keep your crosshair so centered on the lines and on the edges of the boxes. You know what I'm talking about? Just like, so you're not doing big movements, and practice that. And that will, you're just basically, because the thing you did the night before was complete opposite, was fast. and not prestigious, or prestigious, precise, same word, just plural. And last night you were fast and inaccurate, and this morning you were slow and accurate. You find your muscle finds a nice middle ground where it can be fast and accurate. Trust me, it's worked for me. You might not see it now, but like back then it was, okay? Just because in the graphics and what's going on in the background, it looks like I'm shit. Trust me, I have a lot of knowledge in my head from what I used to do, from what I used to practice. I always actually wanted to be a coach, believe it or not. So I guess doing YouTube is kind of a way of me being a coach, and just teaching what I know. You can see me here failing on side jumps, but you know, everyone has their problems. I just choose to let mine out, you know? I'm letting my problems known. Most people would edit that shit out. I ain't gonna do that. So yeah, improve edits, but you gotta have a lot of patience, and don't keep swapping your sensitivity. That is the worst thing you can do. I know I just said I swapped mine in the start of the video. That was for one reason, and that wasn't based off a tilted kind of thing. Like, I didn't get tilted and be like, my sense is shit, I can't hit any shots, I can't hit any edits, I need to change it. It wasn't like that. I was just sitting down in alone time reviewing some of my gameplay when I was editing, actually yesterday's video, and I came across the fact that I was scuffling a lot of edits, and I was hitting all my shots. That's the thing, because I'm on such a low sensitivity. I was tracking like a demon, everything was perfect, but I was just scuffling a lot of edits. Like, even right now you can see, like, sometimes I'm not fully completing my edits, so like I was noticing just little scuffs. So I was like, maybe it's just too much work on my arm. Like, you're seeing it flying back and across there. So I decided that maybe I should hire it up just from an 8 to a 9.1. And it worked wonders. My aim still feels decent. It's a bit slacking when I was aim training this morning, but it still feels decent. So if you are going to change your sensitivity, make sure it's based off some data that you've received, or something, some information that actually validates why you should change it. Not just you feel like it, you know. You got to have proof before you act, sometimes. Not all the time. Sometimes a hunch is enough. Like in game, when you see someone and he looks like a bot, sometimes a hunch will do the job and get you those 3 points in an arena or in a tournament. I don't really have much else to say. Just, if you want it, like, I don't know what type of videos to be doing. I know I want to do tip videos, but I don't know. I haven't been in the Fortnite game for a minute, so I don't know what you guys want to be seeing. I'm just doing what I would have liked to be around for me when I was playing. So I guess whatever tips you want, you come with it in the comments. Whatever comment gets the top most comments, like whatever replies, whatever we're gonna do, just I'll see it, I'll reply to it, I'll let you know what's happening, and we're gonna look and try and make a better video. Whether it be editing, building, I have loads of videos coming. So I literally have, I think I'm gonna do 10 uploads when you're seeing this. It should be 10 uploads this week, like Monday to Friday, 2 a day from Monday to Friday, and then I think it's going to be 1 every week from that. I'm not sure yet. Lockdown is pretty intense, but if lockdown stays, if where I'm at, basically, it's full lockdown, can't leave your house. So if it stays like that, I'm going to continue to upload videos and probably do double a week. But if lockdown doesn't, I have school and shit like that, and the gym will open back up, so it just depends how it goes, you know. But I'm going to try and do my best, and the content I do bring out is going to be of the highest standard. And this is kind of just more of like an intro video at this point, but I've given out all my knowledge on editing. I can go more in depth in each little one of them if you want, like how to improve crosshair placement, how to improve speed. You know, I'm just doing an overview kind of what you need to be doing. There are videos out there though that will help you improve crosshair placement and speed. You just got to look for them. But you know, if you want it from my mouth, you got to let me know down below what type of videos you want. That's important. And obviously, if you have made it this far, in the bottom right right now, see, you can see me finishing up on the edit course, but in the bottom right, what you can do is, there's a little wolf logo. If you tap that, it's going to bring up a pop-up saying you can subscribe. Then you subscribed, just like that. Don't even have to leave the video. If you prefer doing it the other way, no problem against that, but I'm just letting you know that easy option is there. Don't even have to click off the video. And that's it. I'm probably just going to cut this video off right now. It's getting a bit cheeky on the long side. And also, let me know what kind of gameplay you want to see in the backgrounds, because you guys are the ones watching it, not me. That's it. Have a good day. I'm going to roll the outro.